What up, friends? Geoff Fienberg here with you, breaking down the U.S. Open for oddschecker.com/US. U.S. Open, Torrey Pines week, one of the most exciting weeks of the year on the calendar. I am here to give you my outright selection for oddschecker.com/US. Do me a favor, like the video, sub to the feed, so this and all my other picks will drop right into your feed. Every week, 2 golf videos from me, from your friends at Odds Checker. Let's get into it. Torrey Pines South Course, no secrets to anybody here. We come here year in, year out for the Farmers Insurance Open. I don't want to overrate or underrate any previous Farmers success. It's a U.S. Open. I'm sure the South Course will be set up like an absolute beast. But, I would be concerned if guys never had any success on the, easier version of what they're going to play. I'd be encouraged if guys had long-standing form on Torrey Pines, on the South Course, a couple good experiences. I made it pretty clear what I am looking for as the U.S. Open year in, year out. They don't really hide anything. I mean, it's been kind of right in front of us who is going to win on this par 71, 7,600 yard plus POA green track. The USGA has kept it simple. I don't want to say they've made it easy. It's incredibly difficult to pick a winner of a golf tournament. But we talk about it at a lot of other tournaments that you could wax off a lot of the field. It's never more true than a U.S. Open. And who's won these last few? Bryson, Woodland, Brooks, DJ. Spieth beats DJ with a 3-putt at Chambers Bay in 15. I mean, Woodland is the only guy in that group that we wouldn't consider a super elite, but he has that, very long profile off the tee. He has an immaculate tee to green game, but the only reason he won the U.S. Open, and we're thrilled he did, was that he chipped and putted like he's Jordan Spieth. And to me, anyone who's not sort of in that upper crust tier, things are going to go, they're going to have to go Woodland. I mean, nearly perfect. And you're going to have to give yourself, more magic beans from chipping and putting than you've ever had in your life. Clearly it's possible. But not only the guys that win, the guys that, flirt with these leaderboards behind the winners all seem to have a profile, and that's driving distance gain, that always seems to be paramount at the U.S. Open. Key stats I'm looking for: driving distance gain, strokes gained approach, strokes gained around the green, and par fours from 450 to 500 yards. Those are absolutely paramount. But one thing I would say is as important as anything to me this week is positive Poana green putting experiences in your career. Because if you've never had success on them before, I don't think you're going to have success on them this week. And I'm not saying you have to have won a tournament on these types of greens, but I would expect a couple positive showings. Winning is hard. It's hard to win tournaments. But something that would give you confidence that you can do it well. Do it well. Stacked odds board. It's a U.S. Open. No surprise there. Jon Rahm, standalone favorite using that odds checker grade. It's about 11-1. It's not for me. If Jon Rahm wins this thing, that would be what an amazing accomplishment, especially after all the nonsense and the noise after the couple last weeks and the COVID diagnosis. What an accomplishment. But there's a disparity in lines between him and guys that I think are relatively equal to him. And I'm going to look for some of the bigger numbers. To do what Jon Rahm is going to do, having never won a major before as a standalone favorite, would be quite a feat, and we'll be talking about it forever. It's only a matter of when, not if, Jon Rahm will be a major. If he does, we won't be betting on it. Much like where we hit Cantley at Memorial, friends, it's going to be a small, compact card. We're not really going up the board. Maybe we'll have some fun treats in tomorrow. I'll give you a winner over 100. I like to do that. I like to throw them around too. I like to, I'll be overexposed. It's a major championship. I love this. It's Father's Day. The deck is cleared. It's on the West Coast. It's going to be late nights. I'm not going to put my kids to bed for 4 days. It happens. The wife's amazing. Love her. But yeah, like Memorial, like we knew the winner was going to come from the top of the card, and we weren't going to make a big card. We're going to make a small compact card, and we're going to fire our bullets. Luckily, we hit Cantley on that. And that's not really much different. If anything, it's easier. We wax off this field. It's a U.S. Open. 75% of you gone right away. Gone. Normally, we're left with 30% to pick from. But I demand positive PO experiences. To me, that whacks off another 15, 20%. Leaves us very few players. At least that's what I'm working with. At least that's where I've gotten to where I've gotten in making my outright card this week. So let's start it. For me, on that odds checker grid, it is Bryson DeChambeau, 18-1, as low as 14-1. And you know what? You better use odds checker this week. You're watching this video. I know you're using odds checker because the line disparity across the board is out of, it's all over the place. And we're going to hit a winner. You better hit the best number because hitting a winner is hard. So when you hit one, you may as well cash the best number. But numbers are all over the board. There's so much competition in the betting spaces these days, and that's to our advantage, and odds checker lays it out for us. 18-1 on Bryson. Driver, putter, simple. I think he can break U.S. Opens. That's what he does. That's what he's here to do. He's a Cali kid, so he'll be very comfortable in these surroundings. But he's arguably the best driver of the golf ball in the world. And of these very elite players, that very super elite group of players, he's arguably the best putter in that group. Same reason that led us to Bryson last year at Wingfoot at 30-1 here on odds checker. It was a great cash. It was a fun weekend. What a memorable moment. You know what I remember? What a day. Because we had NFL football that day. And that's the first day we ever got to lay eyes on my boy, Justin Herbert. Bryson's winning the U.S. Open. Herbert is looking like my new toy, and magical day, magical memories. Anyhow, Bryson's my guy. Am I worried about the Brooks stuff? No. I think a lot of it's overblown. I think it's not really going to be a factor. I don't think it's going to live up to the hype. That's just me. We're not like in New York. We're not even in South Carolina. I don't think we're going to get that frat boy vibe. I don't. Bryson's a Cali guy. I don't know that they're there to just give him a hard time. I'm not saying this thing's over with, but I think it's a little overblown at the moment in terms of what people think is going to happen. And call me crazy, I think Bryson's mentally stronger than we want to give him credit for. But they're both a couple of, listen, I was this close to picking Brooks. Just missed it. I got nothing bad to say about Brooks. If you wanted to turn this pick into Brooks, you could do that. If you wanted to pick them both, you could do that. 18-1 using that odds checker grid on Brooks. Seems totally fair. That's not for me. I was so close to making this pick Rory. Could make a whole case for Rory, but I don't want to keep you here forever. And if Rory wins, that'll probably hurt because he's probably the closest I came to betting who I didn't bet. But my second man in this tier, I thank you for the competition in the marketplace. I was able to catch, using that odds checker grid, an 18-1 on Dustin Johnson Resorts Casino. Using that odds checker grid, an 18-1 on the best player in the world, the best Poana green putter in the world. After Bryson, you might say the best driver of the golf ball in the world. And you might say he's best player in the world. California dominance. This guy shows up time after time. U.S. Opens are essentially built for this guy. They really are. Going back to the close calls before 16 that you could reel off for him, be it Pebble. I know Whistling Straits was a PGA championship. Be it Chambers Bay, heartbreaking. Didn't have kids at the time. My wife came home from a weekend up north. She must have walked in the door 30 seconds, 90 seconds after Dustin three-putted Chambers Bay. I was like, you could have chalk outlined me. I was done on the floor. That hurt me in golf as much as anything. He redeemed himself. That squirrel found his nut at Oakmont in 16, but we're back for it. We're back for it. Do I care about his Torrey Pines record in the past? No, because he always comes home from Saudi Arabia or the Middle East after dominating, probably winning $2 million and getting $500,000 just to show up. So I don't really care. Dominates California golf. Dustin Johnson is the guy for me. And I will say, listen, Brooks was very close to being this pick. But something that I find interesting, and it's been pointed out to me by a couple people, and really hammered home by my buddy Andy Lack, who ADP Lack Sports on Twitter pointed out to me that why are we giving Brooksy a free pass? Missed the cut at Congaree. Yeah, we know everyone's excited for the U.S. Open, but Dustin contends, doesn't win, and like people want to talk down about him. I don't know. I found that whole dynamic in sort of the golf betting community on this Monday pretty interesting. We saw some of the best ball striking in months from Dustin in this last event. So he's right where I need him to be confident that I'm going to make that wager. Dustin Johnson, 18-1 using the odds checker grid. Keeping it up. Pretty essentially my final pick because, let's get it out of the way, right? I've had no secrets. Told you about it before. Told you about it before. We have a future on Tony Finau, 40-1. Me breaking it down kind of feels fruitless at this point. Talking Finau, hyping Finau. It's a bit of a broken record. There's even some 30s out there now using the odds checker grid. I will re-up with you guys on the 30 just to be part of it. I'll have both numbers. I'm here for it. That's no problem for me. And if you want to play it with placings, maybe that's the safer move. I don't do that. But he does bring four top fives and 9 top 10s in his last 13 majors. That's insane. It's insane, but can we kick the door down? If we're going to do it anywhere, it's going to be at this course, at a long, demanding golf course where Tony has great success and great vibes. Off the charts, Torrey Pines scoring average in his career. And his last 6 runs here in the Farmers, 18th, 4th, 6th, 13th, 6th, and a second tied with Xander behind that Patrick Reed win this early spring. I'm here for Tony Finau. West Coast majors, he always seems to show up in. Poana greens of all the surfaces are his favorite. It seems where he has the most success with the flat stick. So if it was ever to go super fire for us and Tony, it would be on this surface. I'm in on Finau at 40-1. And that's a future. I'm in with you guys again at the 30 if you want it. I'll be there too. If you've exhausted yourself with Finau, I understand that. I understand that totally. Victor Hovland, 30-1 available at PointsBet. My Norwegian prince. I cannot stay away from this guy. And at 30-1, I got no problem with that. I think that's totally fair. I can't give him up. I think it's his time. There are 28-1s on Patrick Cantley. If you wanted to pivot to that, it's hard to tell you you're wrong. You know, it really is, far more accomplished. But I believe, I've said it many times, he's like a little Rory to me. But problem is, I made that case a few weeks ago at Wells Fargo. We bet little Rory and Victor. We ignored big Rory, and big Rory won. Am I worried that's going to happen again? You better believe it. But this guy, played a great Torrey Pines this in the last fall. He went OB on the same hole on the back 9 both days on the weekend. So really just distance control. He had a bit of distance control on the same hole there. Incredibly frustrating. He put up a 65 on the South course and one of his first ever runs in it. I'm really excited for Victor this week. He checks all my boxes. I know, how do I put this? I don't know if other people are doing it, but I sort of make this thing that it's time. He's going to catch Morikawa. Morikawa got it done last summer in California at Harding Park. Victor's going to get his one. I'm feeling it strongly this week at Torrey Pines. I'm Geoff Fienberg. Those are my, we'll say 3 outright picks in the future, but I'm in with you on Finau at the 30. So those are my 4 outright selections for Torrey Pines, the 2021 U.S. Open. I am not overthinking it. I'm playing the top of the card. I'm playing it hard, as you'll probably see in the units. I'll be back tomorrow with the props, and I'm really excited to talk props because it's a major, and there are a lot of ones that I'm really excited to play. And maybe I'll just give you a tease, but I'm all about that Tyler Penrith top Canadian and Bobby Mack top lefty. Those are 2 I'm super excited. Many more that I'll get into with you. So don't forget to subscribe to this. Subscribe to this feed so subscribe to this channel so those drop right into your feed. How was that? I'm Geoff Fienberg. I am super fired up for another major championship, this time at my all-time personal favorite golf course, because it's the only major championship venue I've played, and anyone that knows me knows that my heart always lives in San Diego. So hopefully San Diego wants to give me a big winner, because we know, the teams I do cheer for out of San Diego don't win much. I know they're not out of San Diego anymore, but forever San Diego for me. La Jolla, Carlsbad. It's in my heart. It's like a second home for me my entire life. And I plan to pass that part of the world, that part of North America, on to my children. So a special place, and maybe my love of it can reward me, even though they have nothing to do with one another. Nothing but fond memories. And then you factor in the Tiger Woods 2018 stuff and my own personal memories from the area and from playing there with friends, with family. It's a special layout for me. So I'm super fired up. It makes a major championship even more special. I guess that's what I was trying to say. And that's really hard to do. Listen, maybe I'm like calmer than I am most times. This is a hard card for me. These U.S. Open cards, they've come easy for me in the past. I guess if we're going to go by the fact I've had a lot of luck at the U.S. Open, and those come with bets that I made like in the lead up to the U.S. Open, not on Monday morning, like 3 of these 4 bets. And Tony Finau's your winner. There it is. Tony Finau, 2021 U.S. Open champion. That's my, I guess, official 1 pick. But I'll be back tomorrow. We'll have more because we're overexposed. I'm Geoff Fienberg. Let's catch a winner this week. It's a special one.